What's up? What's going on? How you all doing? All right, calm down, settle down.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Welcome to the Halloween episode of whatever this is. Ooh. No, but for real, thank you so much for joining us. We've got something new going on today. We are actually simulcasting on Facebook and YouTube. So all of our YouTube viewers, welcome back. All of our Facebook viewers, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. We have all of the chat. And my name is Justin Cardoza. I am the tragic medium. And this is my bride. Yes. And this is Broby. Say hello and goodbye. All right, we're going to get down to it.
Okay, hold on.
All right.
You're like running me over.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Okay.
All right. Welcome, Denise, Ima, Leslie, Christine Martin, hello. All Day Vapor, welcome back. So, if this is your first time with us, or you're new, or you just haven't already on YouTube, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Ding! That goes for both platforms. And make sure you hit the bell notification so you're always notified when we go live. Now, if you're on Facebook, please make sure to like and follow our page. And share. Share for Halloween goodness. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. We are going to be telling ghost stories from the psychic medium's perspective. A lot of people have asked me, what is the spookiest thing that we have encountered?
Besides me sitting next to you tonight.
It is spooky.
I think it's pretty spooky looking.
It is. It's good. It's perfect. So, here's what we're going to do. All right? I've got a little something prearranged that we're going to cut to here in a second. Let you guys get a little gander of what we're talking about tonight.
I would only play part of it, and then...
No, you can't do that.
No, you can't do that.
It's 14 minutes.
It's linear, but just...
Why you gotta poop on my parade, man?
Well, it's spooky if you guys
It's
want to know.
spooky
See my spider
poop.
ring?
Yes. So, and then we are going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit, but here's the thing. We want to hear your spooky stories. We want to hear what got you interested in the paranormal, what got you interested in psychic phenomena, what got you interested in ghosts, goblins, and all the little oogie boogies. Mm-hmm. Sound good? So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the phone lines and we're going to be taking calls tonight because we want to hear your stories from your lips, from your words. All right? So, without further ado, the first story tonight is called The Haunted Hunter. Everyone knows that since I'm a psychic medium, I have the ability to speak with people who've crossed over into the afterlife. But something that people don't realize is the number of different cases that I help and consult on. The job of a psychic medium is never done, and these are my stories. A few years ago, I was contacted by a young woman by the name of Beth. Beth sought me out after some trusted people that she knew had recommended me to her. Beth begins the conversation in rather an urgent manner. "Is this Justin Cardoza?" "Yes," I said. She continued, "Justin Cardoza, the psychic medium?" Right away, my psychic senses are jumping. There is something dreadfully wrong, and this woman is seeking much-needed help. Beth was experiencing some activity in her home and has been for some time. She began to tell me of the various things that were happening, lights flickering, items being moved, knocks, bangs, etc. You know. The usual things that you would think of when talking about paranormal activity. Now, these things had been going on for around 6 months or so, but her situation had recently become more dire, as the activity had been steadily increasing over the past few months. This increase in activity had culminated into her being physically touched, which was the final straw for her. As she was explaining the gradual ramp up, I could feel her anxiety give way to full-blown fear. I knew something had to be done. So I tell Beth that I'll investigate what's happening. Now, as I'm telling her how I work, she throws in the fact that she is a paranormal investigator. So, naturally, I then ask, then why haven't you figured out what's happening in your home? But her answer was quite telling. It's different when it's happening in your home. I feel totally helpless. Ah, there it is. Now, this speaks volumes. This is what happens when people attempt to investigate the paranormal when they have no clue as to what that really entails. People seem to have gotten the idea that if you have an electronic voice recorder, an EMF meter, and a flare gun, then you can investigate the paranormal. But nothing could be further from the truth. Just because you watch shows that do this, it does not make you qualified to pursue such actions. And while I totally understand the curiosity factor, investigating hauntings is serious business and it could lead to adverse effects for the uninitiated. All of the electronic equipment in the world is not going to help a spirit that's stuck, and it's definitely not going to help get rid of a malevolent spirit. So now, armed with the knowledge of Beth's hobby occupation, I proceed to look into her situation. Before any investigation is made or started, a psychic medium has to go through a rigorous process to ensure that everything is done in a safe manner. It begins with meditation and a prayer of protection. Only when the prayer of protection is complete and the protection is firmly in place can the investigation proceed. Now, as I approached the home, I could sense right away that there was an entity lurking within. Defenses up. As I touched the doorknob, I felt the unmistakable electric chill of a presence close by. With the turn of the knob and a push of the door, I felt an unearthly resistance to my presence. Now this piqued my curiosity. There was a significant drop in temperature as I crossed the threshold of the front door. I felt an energy bolting around sporadically. Even though there was no one within the home, it felt incredibly crowded. And being in the home for only a minute or two, I'm trying to get my bearings and hone in on the energy's location. With each step inside, I feel the energy increase exponentially in intensity. It's trying to throw me off balance, but that'll never happen. With the intensity being ramped up, I begin to hear noise, random noise, like a roar of a large crowd that gradually gets louder and louder. How many are here? Is this what she's feeling? The sound raises to a deafening level, and then, all of a sudden, clarity. I'm able to see it all. Through the rapid movement of energy swirling around me, and over the raucous sound of a crowd getting louder and louder, I see exactly what's happening, and I call it out. You can stop with all of this nonsense. Your little display, while impressive, it doesn't frighten me because I can see you. Then, all at once, everything goes dead quiet. Everything goes still. No energy, no sound. With the slamming of a door, even more clarity washed over me. There were not many spirits lingering. There was only one. And with the slamming of the door, I instantly connected with it and went right for it. Now, zeroed in and heading straight for the energy, I could feel everything coming from this spirit, and clarity set in even more and more with each step. So I got to the door that was slammed, and I could feel the energy of a spirit behind it. There was no movement, there was no noise. As I opened the door, I felt the spirit's energy wash over me. Fear. The spirit was afraid. As I enter the room, I see a huddled mass in the far corner of the room. It was the spirit of a young man cowering in the corner and hiding his face. He was very obviously scared of me, saying, "Leave me alone, I didn't do nothing." Hey, it's okay. Talk to me, I'm not here to harm you. At that point, he shyly turned towards me, still being very cautious and not really knowing what to think. So I continued on. Hey man. My name's Justin. What's your name? Now his response was the first thing that threw me for a loop. I'm not allowed to talk to strangers, he said. He said this while he's still huddled in the corner. Now, I realized right away that this was something unique. This was something that I had not encountered before. The frantic energy and the loud noise that I encountered when I first entered the home, that wasn't an attempt at a spiritual attack. No, instead, it was self-defense. It was a self-defense response emanating from this spirit, out of fear. This man is really scared of me. Now, the important thing when dealing with spirit is always aiming to be as effective as possible. I need to get information from this man. He is not going to give it while in this state of fear. So I said, "Well, I certainly understand that. That's good policy not to speak to strangers, but I told you that my name was Justin, so we aren't really strangers anymore, are we?" Now that seemed to resonate with him, and he turned around and looked at me. So I gave him a smile. "Hey man, I tell you what, why don't you come out of that corner and tell me why you're here? Maybe I can help." Now in situations like this, it is important to understand that a good bit of the communication is done via feeling. And with that said, I could feel his fear begin to dissipate as he slowly started to arise and come out of the corner. As he approached me, I got a sense of his spirit. There was an innocence about him that was reminiscent of a child. But he was presenting as a grown man of, I'd say, approximately his mid-20s. Now, when investigating hauntings, you always want to understand why the spirit is staying in that location and making it obvious that they're there. So that's exactly what I asked him. "So, what's going on? Why are you here?" I asked. "I followed the pretty lady." "What do you mean you followed the pretty lady?" Now what followed was this spirit impressing on me not only the interaction that he initially had with Beth, but his entire life summed up in an instant. I see Beth climbing a ladder to the loft of a barn, raising the hatch and going through only about halfway into the dark area. She shined her flashlight all around, but she never fully entered the loft. Now, while shining her flashlight, she said, "Are there any spirits here? If so, come forward. I want to hear your side of the story." It was as if I was seeing this happen from the spirit's perspective. So immediately I felt another flashback showing me this spirit man's childhood. You see, this spirit, this poor guy, was mentally challenged in life. His mother died in childbirth, and he was the son of a farmer. As the only child, his father routinely ridiculed him for being quote-unquote stupid and called him a monster for murdering his mother. His only refuge was hiding in the barn loft that Beth had looked into that night. So I say to him, my God, you've been hiding in that loft all this time? Yeah. But why? Do you not see the light? Why don't you go to the light? Because Daddy said that God would never accept a murder dummy like me into heaven. When the pretty lady talked to me, I followed her because she was the only person that was ever nice to me and wanted to hear what I had to say. So you followed her home? Yeah, but she doesn't listen. Ah, there it is. That was the key to Beth's issue. She didn't listen to his story when she said that she would. I mean, after all, how could she listen to his story if she isn't a psychic medium? The solution to this problem is clear. I must tell Beth his story with him there so that she understands, and that is exactly what I did. So as I begin to tell Beth the sordid story of this poor guy, I can see the gravity of the situation sink in. Beth realizes that she brought this situation on herself, but more importantly, she realized that she had made a promise to a spirit that she could not keep. Only after Beth heard his story and told him that she understood, it was only then that he chose to cross over and enter the light. So there you have it. The Haunted Hunter. True story.
Very true.
True stories of
Of
a psychic medium, right? Yeah, no doubt.
That story made me cry. The very, I mean, when you know, and that was the exact voice he did. It was the exact voice, he did. And I was just in tears.
Yeah.
It's very true. So, that's why ghost hunters should never ask questions they're not ready to answer.
You gotta know what you're doing, man.
Yep.
Do I do readings on places at all? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing.
I'm sure I look
Gonna be. It's all right.
professional.
Hey, we're professional. It's all good. Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
Holmes, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Clear them out.
I know your heart
right?
is broken for. I know, it is. But he did go to the light. That's the thing. He did go to the light. But do you see how cruel humankind can be to another soul? That when they pass, they still feel that
pain.
That pain. And even though they see the light, they don't feel worthy. Nobody wanted to hear his story. So when you're watching all these ghost hunters on television and they're like, they get EVPs and they say, get out. Well, maybe it's because you're not there to help them.
Right.
And that is a perfect situation where nobody was there to help them.
Right. So that is one story. Hey, what's up?
That's just one story. Now, it was going to be
what?
The editing on it was super cool. There was like all sorts of really, really cool features that were, Dominic had this really fancy where, there was all these things that went along with it. But the way it was being edited, it was going to be, I go, how many minutes is this? And how many minutes have you already edited? 2. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, it was a lot.
It's a lot because it's like Dominic edits like a motion picture, so they had to scrap that. And Justin, he came in and was like, well, this will make it like a creepypasta. You know what a creepypasta is, right? We'll just do a creepypasta because people like to listen to it in their earbuds and not have a black screen. I was like, okay.
Like,
So
you're the
honestly,
1%. Everyone else is the 99%.
thanks, Kristen. I figured
It's
we do
Halloween.
the Halloween special tonight.
Yeah, did
Yeah.
you use super glue?
On what? For my beads? No, it's actually just eyelash glue glued on. And I have double eyelashes tonight.
Oh,
and,
looking very creepy.
And I don't have to worry about being pale because I really... And I have the ladies out tonight.
Yeah, it's very spooky. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right. So, I thought we were going to have some fun tonight. Try to keep it light
We're
and breezy.
simulcasting at the same time on Facebook. So, if you
Yes.
belong to any groups on Facebook, please,
Dude,
please.
why did you move that light? Like, we are super washed out now. Like, I feel like I'm a ghost. Ooh.
Maybe you are.
Oh, maybe I am. Who says...
And just disappears.
Yeah. All right, so here's
My
what I was
rosaries
thinking.
on. It's the only time I would wear my rosaries.
Yeah.
Not because it's scary, but because it's just...
Well, it's all right.
That's a great piece to have. Hey, it was
Draws
good.
attention to the places that matter. So, hey. All right, so we keeping it light and breezy. And we thought it would be fun to hear. You heard one of my stories. I would love to hear your stories, right? So, if you've got a spooky story or something that's, that you think is interesting, we'd love to hear it. Type 1 in the chat on both Facebook and YouTube to let us know if you would like to call in and tell your spooky story. Right?
That's pretty good.
Not bad, huh?
Nope, not at all. I'm just still looking at myself in the thing. I can't believe I got this put together in record timing.
Lily, Denise, excellent. All right, so let's see. Maybe Dom could get that list thing rolling, but he's out there. Denise Kennedy. Oh, Savannah.
You missed the story. Now we're gonna upload that story.
Yeah, I'm gonna upload
on
that.
the YouTube. So
Here's your crystal ball. I'm gonna have to get her a crystal ball, I think. What was your name? What was your stage name?
oh,
The
I have a page.
Did you make a page
Yeah.
for it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Savannah.
Mystic something.
Yeah, Mystic something. The Mystic
It's not
Witch.
Mystic Witch, but the joke is on everybody because of my description in on my page. I created a page because I figured that into the Mystic Angel.
Into the Mystic Angel. The Mystic Angel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. All right, so I tell you what. All right, we'll start with Lily. Once Dom gets back in here, I'm gonna give you guys now. If you are in now, the phone number to call in is only for United States and Canada.
Yeah, it's 918-200-9706.
Lily, are you in the States? United States or Canada? I hope. We haven't figured out the international how to set that up yet. All right, excellent. So, Dom,
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Hold on a second.
hang on one sec. There we go. I'm gonna just go ahead and accept that. Hello. Just hang on one second. We're getting all set up here so that we could hear you.
Hold on.
We're here.
Or actually, I can just listen on here.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. All right. So there we go. Lily, can you hear me? Now I can't hear her, Dom.
I had to go into the volume.
Oh.
It's worked before.
Lily, can you hear me? Ah. Are you there with me? Yeah, I can't hear her. So.
Okay, yeah, there's something wrong with that plug. I know that. It's finicky. Can you hear now? Can you no, not now. You gotta plug this into the other end. I don't know why. Just
what?
There you go. I don't know. It was working yesterday.
Which one am I plugging into here? Oh,
side.
this side. This should be all set up. All right.
Well, it was working.
Not for nothing. I mean, this is all like
this
we were doing.
Before,
okay. All right. Let's try now. Oh man, it went back down. Hang on. Okay, go ahead, Lily. Hello, hello.
Give me the mouse. Give me the mouse.
Dom, you're killing me here.
Well,
you're killing the vibe,
it
bro.
was working before. So, speakers, headphones. Yeah, see, you're coming out of the headphones. Can you test it? It's coming out?
Yeah, I hear it. I hear that.
We're going to let you go, and we're going to call you back, okay?
Or have her call back.
Yeah, just call back, Lily.
All right. All right, Lily, let's try again. Sorry about that. See, and I'm not hearing anything right now. Hello?
Okay, are you,
there it is.
Hey.
Gotcha
it's
now.
Lily.
Hey, all right.
Can you hear me?
I can. I can
Okay,
hear
perfect.
you now.
Okay, I think it was my phone case. I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem. All right, and if you could just turn us down because we got a little echo in the back there.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay.
It's all good.
Is that better?
Yeah, all right, that's fine.
speaker.
Okay, that's fine. That's cool. All right.
Okay.
No, that's done. No, it's coming out on the computer that I'm listening to.
So tell me when you're ready.
Are you hearing an echo? Like a double?
A little bit. But because I have it on live on the YouTube, so maybe I should turn that down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this one. Oh, I have Facebook open at the same time. If anyone has Facebook, they might have to mute it.
All right, let's try that. All right, cool. There we go.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we're good.
So the story goes is that I was all alone by myself. My mother was visiting in Boston, so I lived in a two-story house in California. My father has passed many years. He died of ALS. We were very close. He believed in ghosts. He knew I did too. All of a sudden, downstairs, my dog is outside in the backyard. No one's in the house, just me. I hear a slam of the table, like the drawer just shut. I go crying downstairs because I fully expect somebody to be in the house, like a stranger, somebody had broken and slammed out or made a noise trying to break in and get something.
Right.
I go downstairs, I surveyed the whole place. It's all dark. I turn on all the lights, and I suddenly realized that the energy felt like my father, distinctly like my father's presence. I even heard his laugh.
Wow.
And I was so creeped out, and I burst into tears, and I said, "You jerk." Because he always promised me that he would communicate with me, but I never thought he would do something so cruel or so sarcastic. It wasn't his style. So that was my scary story. It scared the daylights out of me. I mean, it really did. I locked the doors. I had my dog next to me in the bed. It really scared me, and I don't scare too easily.
All right. So the bang that you heard, did you ever figure out what that was?
Yeah, we have a table and there's a drawer, and he took the drawer and he opened it up and he slammed it.
So besides the feeling that it was your father, because, when we love somebody and we're with them constantly, they have a very specific energy, and so I don't doubt that at all.
Right.
Have you had any appearances since that time?
Yes. I was a psychologist, and he warned me when I was 13 to take care of myself, not give money to men, really just sort of be a strong, independent woman. And in literally 1 week, 3 women came into the office with the same story of men sort of and their families sort of, you know, betraying them and taking their money. And I was just, my jaw dropped because it was like 3 women back to back with the same story. And then on the 3rd night, my father literally showed in the office after the woman left. I looked up and I see him in a gray suit, and he just looks at me and he goes, "See how lucky you are?" And he just kind of, you know, shook his head and he just turned, and I just froze. It was a very powerful moment, but it was totally like, I warned you, I told you, and now you're seeing it for yourself. And, you know, you're old enough, and I'm not here to He died when I was 17, you know, so he never really got to see me older. And I'm now 48. And there's a lot he's told me and warned me about that I've now seen. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I've seen him many times.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great stories. Great stories. Thank you so much for sharing. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Great. Thank you for letting me share.
Absolutely. All right. You have a good one. There we go.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
That's awesome.
That is great. It just goes to show the power of love. It's one of the things that we talk about often while we're doing readings, that people will only come through out of love, right? Mm-hmm. And Lily, fantastic. Thank you so much for helping to prove that point. You know, that, wow, for your father to come through in such a way, couple of different times, and then to really verify the things that, and validate the things that he said to you in life. That's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I love that.
Mm-hmm. That's excellent. I mean, it's so true, because that's the one thing, that's the one continuous message that you constantly preach, is that love never dies.
Love never dies.
Love never dies. And if you are open enough, I mean, there are so many people who get signs from their loved ones. And like Lily says, she goes, it shook her. And I mean, to get those, and to me, 3 is always that magic number. Oh, yeah. You know, but in a day, it's just crazy. But there's so many people out there who don't ever recognize the signs. And they get very, very obvious signs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
but
and
they
people
ignore
talk themselves out of it all
right,
the time.
They talk themselves out of it. And it's so sad. I find that, I think that's sad.
It's sad that they
miss it, because there's so many people out there, as you guys know, that are on here who wish to hear from their loved ones. But, you know, Lily, it's that's a scary story, but
absolutely. It's definitely spook central. It's a jump scare.
It's a jump scare,
right?
Yeah.
It's not so much of a constant creep out factor. Right. If you're going into a spooky place or anything, there was a jump scare involved to get your attention, and then once you go downstairs, it's okay. Oh, then it's like, man, really? What are you doing here? Come on now. I think anybody who's halfway sensitive has had that, because they always pop in when you least expect it, right?
Yeah,
you know, so that's how that goes. What a fantastic story. Thanks for kicking that off, Lily, and being brave enough and willing to share that. We appreciate it so much. Denise.
So hold on. I want to...
Before anyone does anything, we have made an automated queue.
Okay.
This is to join. You have to type in ! call in. That's all lowercase and
one word. Call in.
! Call in, all one word, no spaces, nothing like that. You can join, and I will be doing them in order this time.
In order. Okay.
In order.
This is just for calling in, that way, because we don't have call waiting.
Okay,
right.
So also tonight we're actually doing a feature where we're actually broadcasting simultaneously at the same time on YouTube and Facebook. So if you are a new viewer on YouTube, thank you for joining us tonight. This is Justin Cardoza, psychic medium, also known as the tragic medium. Tonight, I'm his wife, Roseanne. I'm also an intuitive, and tonight we're just kind of having some Halloween fun. I don't normally look like this if this is the first time you're tuning in, but we're just telling spooky stories, kind of getting
Getting in the mood.
getting
Tis
in
the season.
Right, yeah. Well, it's about to be over, thank God. So, here's the thing. I want everybody to know, all we're asking from you tonight is to share your spooky stories if you've got something spooky, or even if you have a question that you want answered, like that's a spooky question.
We're
kind
getting
of
spooky.
Yeah. So, but you have to subscribe. You have to subscribe to our channel, and you have to give us a thumbs up. So make sure you hit that thumbs up, okay? And also hit the bell so you get notified when we go live. If you're on our Facebook page, please share this out. Share, because we will go live again on Saturday. I don't know. I never asked you. Stop looking. You're getting distracted. If you meditated, you came out of the room, but I was doing my thing. So I never asked you, did you get anything when you were meditating?
Why would you ask me that live?
I don't know. Well, I'm just saying. I'm.
If we
I
get
don't know
something,
why.
we get something.
Yeah,
The channel's always open.
The channel is always open.
If something comes through, I will stop what we're doing and we will go there.
Right.
Fair enough?
Right.
Sound
Totally.
good?
But Saturday, we are also going to go live on Saturday night. Or maybe Friday. I don't know. It just kind of depends. So, but tonight, you don't know what we're in store for tonight. So, we're broadcasting on 2 different platforms at the same time. This will be something that we'll start doing continuously. So, if you want to continuously see us, if you want
and
to...
hello to Gloria Mitchell, who joined earlier.
Yes,
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Want to let you know we saw you.
Yeah, we saw you,
All
Gloria.
right.
And as for everyone on Facebook, if you guys want to call in, you guys are going to have to come to YouTube so you can join the queue.
Right. If you're on Facebook.
So, well, I tell you what. The whole point of this was to prevent that. All right? So we'll have the queue, but somebody's got to keep an eye on Facebook. I'm keeping an eye on Facebook over here as well. And if anybody from Facebook wants to join in, we'll fit them in.
Yeah, absolutely.
No problem.
They just need to see something on Facebook, and hopefully somebody is monitoring and they'll know.
All right, so
okay,
who is next up? Oh, thank you, Lily. Appreciate that. 918-200-WDOM.
Yes.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, we're sharing ghost stories tonight. We want to hear your ghost stories. All ghost stories all night. Now, if a spirit does decide to pop in and say hello, that will take precedent. Don't worry. Channel is open. Okay?
And if you want to support our channel, don't forget to hit. You can always do the, there's a Intuitive out there that is, for PayPal. You can always support us by giving us a donation. If you like what you see and the work that our unbelievable producer does,
all right.
So
here
give
we go.
him a donation, and that would be great. So thank you, Carla.
All right, there we go. All right, and is this Denise?
Yes, it is.
All right, hey Denise. All right, if you could just turn the volume down on us. There we go.
It's down now.
All right, yeah. Look at you. You're like old pro, like old veteran. All right, so
how's it going?
All right, doing well. I kind of like this format. This is fun. So tell us your spooky story.
All right. So many years ago, I worked in a local theater here in Denver. I was a stage technician, and I was in my teenage years when I was working there. And so I was working there after school. So I was there from like 16 to 20, I think, is the ages I was there. But anyways, we were working on a production, and it was Grease. And as a stage technician, we were running behind on building the set. And so we had to work in shifts. We had to buddy up with somebody else on the crew and work in shifts to get the car Grease Lightning done. So I was buddied up with another coworker, but we had the midnight shift. So we were going to work from like midnight until 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. or something like that. And so we were responsible for the building, during the time that we were there, and we were the only people in the building.
Right.
And I had been working at this theater some time already, so I was accustomed to it. I knew all the sounds of it and all the nooks and crannies of it, and I actually have a lot of stories about this building, but I'm just choosing this particular one.
Right, and for the uninformed or uninitiated people who aren't familiar, theaters are notoriously haunted, especially if they've been around for any number of years. There's something about artists, actors and things like that who pass, who love to stick around and continue their craft. So theaters just throughout history have been a fantastic place of paranormal phenomena. But please proceed. I'm sorry.
Yes, and I've come to experience what you're talking about.
Ooh, continue.
So as we are there for our shift, we are working on stage. We're working on the bumper for Grease Lightning, and we have a little radio on stage with us. So we have music playing. And so we're working along, just he and I, and chit-chatting back and forth. Not a lot, we really needed to get this done. So as we're working along, my friend, the coworker, he was like, he told me to go turn the radio down. So I went and turned it down. He was like, "Do you hear that?" And I did. And we were hearing, there was a piano that was out in the front lobby, and it was playing music.
Well, now, was it a player piano? Just
No,
trying
it
to
was
play
not.
devil's advocate. Whoa. And it was just you and this other coworker that were in the building
Correct.
alone.
Yep.
That's creepy. Okay.
Yeah. So it was faint, it was faint music, and it was kind of lightly playing, and I was trying to figure out, well, is it mice on the keys, that sort of thing. And he was like, well, we have to go check it out because we're responsible for the building. So we each grabbed flashlights, and they're down the side of the stage, there's offices, not inside the house of the theater, but there was, on the other side of the wall. And so we're going through this long length of offices, and as we get to that last door that's going to open out into the lobby, he and I are like shoving each other through the door because neither one of us wanted to go first. And but we opened the door and got out into the lobby, and of course, as we got into the lobby, the music stopped.
So wait.
So
wait, let me understand this. As you guys hear the piano from the lobby in the distance, you guys say, "Wait, we're the only ones here. We've got to go check this out." And as you begin the journey to the lobby, the piano is still playing.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we again opened the door, and it stopped playing, and the piano was probably. The piano would move around all the time because we would put it in different spots. But at this on this night, it was probably 30 feet away from us. So I could see there was nobody there because there was windows over that area, and so the street lights were coming through the glass windows, and there was nobody there. And we were very stealth in getting through the offices to that door, so we were really quiet. So we were going to surprise whoever it was.
Sure.
But there was nobody there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So let me ask you a question. When you went into the lobby and saw that no one was there, what was the reaction? What was the energy like? Paint that picture for us.
Well, this was a long time ago at this point in my life, but I of course, was just high, like running, kind of running towards it, kind of looking at my friend, and is, what do we do?
Right.
So, it was
one of those situations that just creeped you out. And did anybody ever confirm it? Like, had that ever happened before or since?
Well, let me end on this one, and then I'll answer that question.
Okay.
So so the next day, you know, so he and I had to go through the rest of the building to make sure that truly there was nobody there, but there wasn't, you know, no other doors, because the way it was configured, you would have to open other doors to get away from us, and, you know, and there was just nobody there. So we had to continue, you know, working on Grease Lightning, so we had to go back to our work, and then done with our shift, and then came in the next night, you know, for our shift, and my friend and I were together again working, and he was like, you know, something I thought about. He was like, that music you heard, was it in tune? And I said, yeah, it was. And so we went back out to the lobby, and we kind of played around on the keys, and that piano was way out of tune.
Ooh, wow. So was it the piano, or was it some sort of supernatural recording on the ether of a former pianist that once performed there, letting you know, or maybe just perhaps serenading you guys as you worked, appreciating the hard work that you were doing?
Right.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one, Denise. That's creepy. That's pretty
so to finish
good.
Finish up on your question, I had heard from stage managers. You know, I was working with a crew that was 10 years older than I, because I was still in high school, and everybody else was in their 20s, you know, 20s, close to 30s. So they were in the much more responsible positions than I was. So one of the stage managers, he had told me a story that was handed down to him, basically. There was a stage manager that he was the last one out at night and the first one in the morning. And this was like in the 70s, I think. And this guy decided to change the lobby around where that piano was. So he would move the furniture around, and because he just wanted it to have a different look. And as the story goes, that stage manager would come in the next morning, and all the furniture was back into its original spot.
Wow.
And he did that like 3 days in a row, and he had the same results each time, so he just decided to stop, and he didn't move the furniture.
Yeah, so they had an interior designer basically saying, no, this is the way that it's going to be. That's fantastic. Wow. That's awesome. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. So,
great story.
It was really a wonderful place to work, and yes, many other stories I have as well, but that was a very distinct one.
That's the one that jumped out at you, huh? Well, yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Denise. We definitely appreciate it. It's a great story.
You're quite welcome. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween. All right, so there you have it. So we've had a visitation from Lily's father, gave her a little jump scare, and now Denise with a ghostly piano playing in the distance.
What's with the voice?
I'm being spooky, man.
I'm going to tell you what's spooky. Those eyebrows.
You know what's spooky? Those eyebrows.
How dare you.
Well, unfortunately, it's not hooked up.
That's all right. That's all right, man.
Okay, so.
Please donate so we can get better sound effects. I'm not joking either, please.
True.
It's all good.
Okay, so, Savannah.
What do you think of that? We're getting to Savannah. Savannah's
She
going to
wanted
be next.
to know if.
Yes, no, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not editing anyone today, so dismiss my spooky voice if it bothers you. Yes, excellent. All right.
We're ready to take the next caller.
We are ready to. So, what did you think of that, Boo? What do you having worked in before we get to Savannah? Mm-hmm. Having worked in musical theater, did you ever have any experiences like that?
Absolutely not.
Oh, I thought you were saying that.
No, I think the tragedy of that story is the fact that it was the musical Grease, because Grease, the musical, is not as good as the movie. Okay? That's the scary part of that story. However, I was never a fan of the actual musical. I like the motion picture better. But that's,
Grease Lightning!
Plus, I'm a little peeved. I was never,
Rizzo.
I never got casted as Rizzo.
All right,
anyway,
so moving on.
I have been in the theater and I've never felt bad energy there because it's just a different environment for me.
You were always very focused.
Yeah,
right?
But even when everything's broken down and not everything is turned on, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm not going to lie. There's times where, like, I'd have to go in, like, back into one part, you know, and everything is dark, you know, to a certain extent. And this one particular theater that I used to do plays, everything is painted black.
Right.
So, you know, there is a kind of like a feeling like somebody's probably watching you. But
you would expect that in a theater, right? I mean,
totally. I mean, there's a lot. It's not uncommon. I mean, you know, because we have our, you know, infamous Brady Theater here that definitely has vibes to it.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I've performed in, you know, I've performed at the Performing Arts Center too when I did by Birdie, and I never felt that. And I did lots of different shows. But I'm telling you, yeah, it's not necessarily bad energy. I think, and as personally for me, I never really got spooked out because to me, it's a place of, you're on the phone with Denise still. You have to hang out.
Who is this, Savannah?
Yeah, it's me.
It's Savannah calling in.
Okay.
Don't question me. I know what I'm doing. I answered it while you're still talking.
I really need to kind of hear. Is there any way to plug my earphones in?
No.
Okay, because I can't really hear the stories. So.
Not at the Mo.
Thanks.
Hey, Chelsea. All right. So, Savannah, welcome to the live stream.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, I like this format.
Yeppers.
I really do. Yeppers. What'd I tell you about that? All right, so, Savannah, what is your scary story? What is your experience with the ghastly?
With the ghastly?
Well, so the most prominent story for me was I was about 13 or 14 years old. I lived in a 2-story house, obviously, with my whole family.
Okay.
Do you guys have a bad echo, or is it just me?
Just you. You sound great on our end.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll ignore it. So
It's all right. Take your time.
I had a couple of encounters, but it all ties into the same specific scenario.
Okay.
So, my first encounter was I would walk up the stairs to go to my room, which it was like 10 steps and a landing and then 4 steps and a landing to go to my room.
Okay.
So every time I would go up the stairs, I would feel super uneasy and uncomfortable. Things kind of progressed to where I was having scary nightmares of this person visiting me often. And they would move things around where I would be doing homework on my bed, and on my desk, papers would be pushed off onto the floor. No fan is on.
Well, hang on. Okay. So you are sitting there at a desk, right? And papers that are next to you just all of a sudden get thrown on the floor.
No, I was on my bed across the room.
Oh, okay. And papers just, boom, gone on the floor.
Yeah, like it was a notebook, and there were like 3 or 4 papers sat on top of it, and it was just like they got pushed off the desk, or like they teetered off, is what I talked myself into.
Right. But you know they didn't teeter off.
No, they did not. There's no way.
Okay. All right.
And then everything escalated to one night where this spirit had told me his name was Jeff.
Okay. And
Jeff grabbed me from out of my bed in my sleep and
pinned me to the top of my ceiling, completely flat, like I was a board, screamed in my face, and he was telling me, give me what do you, he was like, give me what I want, give me what I want, tell me what I want. And there was nothing I could do. It was completely terrifying.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So, did you ever find out what he was talking about?
No. After kind of some personal reflection, I feel that he was after my drive, my ambition, more than something physical or an answer.
Right, right. So he was obviously aiming to instill enough fear in you to prevent you from pursuing whatever your life's mission is. Right?
Yeah, of course.
So how long did this go on for?
I would say this probably all was happening over the course of about 6 months. Wow. It was a long time.
Yeah. Listen, if that even happens once, that happens for a long time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many of us would be able to still stay in a house where you get pinned to a ceiling,
yeah,
by some entity,
And yeah, I was so terrified. I refused to sleep in my room. My parents, I made them move me downstairs.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I wouldn't sleep upstairs. I would sleep on the couch, or I would sleep in my little sister's room with her.
So, in your experience while you were there, and I'm just trying to get a complete picture,
mm-hmm.
did you find that only happened in that room?
No, not always. The severity, yes.
Like when you were alone, right?
Right. If I was alone in my room, it was that severe, or if I was walking upstairs alone, it was severe. But if I was downstairs, I would feel that uncomfortable pull from that area of the house, but never that scared on the addition, which is where my room after I moved was.
Wow. So that part of the house was an addition where your room was?
Where my room was after I moved.
Gotcha.
So after I made my parents switch.
I see. Wow. Yeah. Anybody else ever been pinned to the ceiling, yanked out of your sleep? I believe it.
I've heard that many times. That is a very common thing when somebody wants to get.
And the whole point of that, and you and I have talked about this, and
right,
it is when something that traumatic happens that young in a supernatural capacity, its purpose is one thing and one thing only: to instill a fear response into you, right? That is going to prevent you from moving forward in whatever capacity that you're destined for. To me, it says that if something that traumatic in a spiritual sense, that evil, and I'm going to use the word evil, you guys know that I don't throw that around lightly, but something that evil happens supernaturally to you at such a young age, to me that says that you are destined for great things. And it's that greatness that they're trying to stop by instilling nothing but fear.
Right.
And I know that took a lot of courage for you to come on and admit and speak. And I thank you. Thank you for that. It's something that people need to hear.
Thanks for letting me share.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Savannah. All right. You have a great night. You're gonna still stick around with us, right?
Oh, yeah. I'll stick around and keep watching to hear everyone else's stories.
All right, good deal. All right, thank you. And have a happy Halloween.
You too.
All right, that was good, man. Yeah, that's a crazy story, man. Could you imagine? You're sleeping good, you're having a good dream, then all of a sudden, yank, bang, pins to the ceiling? The ceiling?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Not me. I'd be ready to be out.
I'm like still listening to you. This is like throwing me off because I can't listen.
Are you listening on Facebook?
No, on YouTube.
You might just be a little bit behind.
So, if you are just joining us...
Yes, if you're just joining us, my name's Justin Cardoza. I am the tragic medium. This is my bride, Roseanne. She is an intuitive. The scary one?
The scary one.
I'm trying to be scary. I'm trying to be spooky. Well, hello, Michelle.
Hi.
Welcome. If this is your first time with us, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up, as well as the bell notification if you are on YouTube. Now, if you are on Facebook, please, we'd love it if you would, like and follow and share and
on Facebook,
all of those good things. Give us the old thumbs up. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and if you want to give a donation to our lovely producer tonight, because he is the one who keeps this stuff going. He's the one who has to work all this stuff out. In addition, who are you? Oh God, look who's making comments. No, I am a spooky version of myself, which isn't really much, very, very far from it. But if you want to keep, he's the one who keeps all this going. Dominic does.
Yeah, I know. Dominic's the one that keeps it all
fantastic.
rolling.
And tonight, since we're broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube, make sure you definitely subscribe and you hit that bell.
Yep.
Okay, because you don't want to miss out on anything. And we've got the call-ins tonight, so it's a really awesome night. Now, Savannah, she's not familiar with the term sleep paralysis. So can you also, because somebody in the chat before mentioned about sleep paralysis. So how would you define that versus what she went through? Because a lot of people do have sleep paralysis and they think they're being physically pinned down by a spirit.
Here's the thing. My view on that is, as far as like sleep paralysis goes, or whether it's, I'm thinking, Roseanne, whether it's sleep paralysis or that happening, the fact of the matter is the fact that it's happening to the person. Now, you could tell them that it's sleep paralysis, and maybe that really is what's happening. But to them, they feel pinned down. They feel pinned to the ceiling. It's how that person is feeling and reacting to that situation. Whatever the scientific term of it is, or whatever is happening there, it doesn't negate the fact of that person's experience, right? And it's that person's experience that I'm concerned with. That's what I'm paying attention to.
So it's a different experience because she was physically moved. And sleep paralysis is almost like you're kind of in and out of a dream, but
it doesn't matter either way, right? It doesn't matter either way whether you sleep paralysis is when you physically wake up and you can't move and you're literally paralyzed, right?
And it feels like somebody's holding you down. Yeah.
And then there's other things that happen when, now as far as like things can happen in nightmares and things like that feel very real.
It's just like the falling effect when you're
right. Yeah, it's like if you ever feel that falling effect and you
wake
shake
up,
awake. It doesn't really matter to me. What matters is the feeling, right? And as a psychic medium, the thing that I focus on is the energy involved with it and the energy that that experience created for that individual. That's what I focus on. You know, whether, you know, you've got to use some discernment as to whether, okay, this person really feels that that happened to them. And it created this experience, it created this type of a response. So that's really the important thing. That we should definitely always be paying attention to. And how do we get past that, especially if it has placed a block in our path of moving forward. All right, so do we have
Does that
anybody...
answer your question, Savannah? Because I know you were, you know, it's always what is coming through. Because there are people who have sleep paralysis that... But her situation, I think that's like a whole other ball game. I mean, Savannah's like, that's a whole other ball game. We keep buffering.
All right.
You said that.
Aaron.
Can you go ahead and click on the little thing down there at the bottom to see how...
This?
No, not that one.
This?
The one at the far right.
This one?
Teddy, it's in the window. That one right there. Click that. What are our kilobits?
4472.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Okay.
So she just needs to restart.
Yeah, she refreshed. Okay.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any spooky stories that they want to share?
Okay, so if you want to know, if you want to call in, you can just hit I.
No, not I.
Or I'm sorry, exclamation point, call in, all one word. And does that pull up the phone number?
Yep. Well, no, that puts you in a queue.
Oh, it puts you in a queue.
But the first one who does it, they'll automatically get the phone number.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. This is a lot of hair tonight.
All right. Yeah, so we're
broadcasting live tonight on
Facebook
both platforms,
and YouTube.
Facebook and YouTube. So if you're new to YouTube, make sure you subscribe and you hit the bell and give us the thumbs up. It's funny because we're having no problems tonight with the thumbs up, people. Awesome.
Yep. Absolutely.
Chelsea, I got videos from your mom. Crazy orbs in those pictures. Those are absolutely amazing. I know when the video was playing, Justin saw it and was like, wow. You know, there was some conversation. We were all talking, I think it was earlier this week. And somebody was, sent us a video and there was, orbs in it, and people often ask, what's the difference between orbs and dust. First of all, you can catch orbs in photographs as well as video with lights on or without lights on. Okay, contrary to what's paranormal shows portray, you can do it, because an orb is just a ball of energy, and it is so bright and so powerful that it's going to get your attention. Where dust particles, it doesn't matter if you have the cleanest house, or you would have to literally live in a bubble to not have dust particles, but dust particles are constantly seen, but an orb moves differently than a dust particle. Dust particles are pretty fast, and they're just very concentrated and small. Like
there's usually some sort of intelligence behind the movement of
right. Like it'll either become brighter or and it usually comes out of a person or right in front of a person. It zigzags and it fades in and fades out, and sometimes it's super bright. But it's important for you guys to know that. I think that orbs are just that beautiful, little just kind of kiss, a hug, what you always call whispers in the wind, or what do you say? Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah. It's good. Just letting you know, hey, they're here with you,
Excuse me.
No, it's okay. So,
if anyone has any spooky stories, please go ahead and you can call in. Please use the
I thought there was a whole bunch of people wanting to call in. My daughter got touched by spirit 2 nights ago. Penelope. Well, welcome, Penelope.
Yeah, definitely welcome. Wow.
Yeah, listen, it's not uncommon for children to have that problem. We've had a lot of people, have, I'm glad you listened to her. That's the first thing I will say, because
Absolutely,
most parents brush it off with their children and do not acknowledge that. And it's important to listen to your child. How old is your daughter, Penelope? I know she's on Facebook, so it'll take a minute.
Hey, Paula, welcome.
Hi,
welcome
Paula.
to our stream. Definitely.
If you're on Facebook and you're joining us, please make sure you like and follow. She's 14. Okay, interesting. Has she ever had that before? Happened to her before, even, not in this particular time of year? She sees spirits all the time. Okay. So, as a mother, can I ask you, how do you handle that? Because, thanks, Sammy. Thanks, Sammy. It's the first time she's been touched. So, does she feel like that it's escalating to the point? I mean, obviously the veil is thin right now, and the veil will be, at its very thinnest tomorrow. This is where my area comes into, because our 14-year-old who's sitting right next to us, who's our producer, there's a window where children see spirits, ladies and gentlemen. They have night terrors, they have, imaginary friends. If it goes past 7, I'm like washed out. Like, it's weird. My eye is doing weird things because it's green. So, when you go past 7 and that energy window is still open, it means that they definitely have something. So, and where I get very passionate about is because, okay, good.
That's very good.
Because that's the one thing I do, is I try to educate other parents on, keeping that dialogue open with their children. You never want to infer things to a child. It's extremely important, because you want the information they give you to be clean and influenced. So, like with Dominic, he didn't know anything about, he never heard the word medium. We never talked about ghost or that, his father was a psychic medium. We never used those words. We never watched those television shows. It wasn't until after he was 7 and stopped really remembering his past life. Now, she saw 2 entities where we were living. One chased her. Okay. And you feel them and sometimes see them. Okay. Well, yeah, okay. Well, Penelope, honestly, we actually have a program that we run. It's called lightworkereducation.org, and we mentor people who are empaths, sensitives, psychics, and psychic mediums. It's a process when you have those abilities and you don't have anywhere to turn to, it's very important, to make sure that with young kids, that especially because what we've based this curriculum on is 17 years of work that you have done.
Right. Yeah. Of 17 years of.
It's not technical stuff, because there's a lot more involved
it's all the stuff behind the scenes.
Being effective and knowing how to control your abilities. And I'm not trying to blow up anybody, but Penelope, you heard that last caller. I don't know if you heard her, Savannah. She will tell you, she's one of our students. She will tell you that she was a child just like that. So she knows, and she's, and she will tell you the things that it's about being able to control what's around you, because it's a do or die. It's kind of like a moment where things can get really, they can escalate. They'll start to escalate more because they want to hear her, or they want her to acknowledge that she hears them. So touching is an escalation. And let me be very clear that not all things are bad. They're not all evil and demonic. Okay, it's a misinterpretation of the energy. That's where discernment comes in. And thank God for the Holy Spirit gift of discernment that he has. And you know, but what can happen to a child is they don't have a way to really articulate the energy that's around them. Because when we read energy, it's about having, there is technical things involved, you know, but also the most important thing is protecting them, and also, you know, most of all protection, but also being able to discern whether or not they're good and bad, and setting boundaries and balance. So if you're interested in that, make sure you like and follow our page, and go to lightworkereducation.org and check that out. So if anybody wants to call in and tell a spooky story.
Yeah, we want to hear your spooky stories tonight.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tune in and see if we've got anybody waiting in the wings, right?
Yeah, true. And if anybody wants a card reading tonight,
absolutely,
we're also doing card readings. A full card reading is $25. Spirit readings when we're online are, you know, they're a give back. They're always a give back when we're online.
Yep.
So, yeah, our producer is gone. He left.
All right. So
I'm just waiting to see what, I can't listen to myself talk on here.
Right.
Yeah, it's annoying. Okay. Are you on there? Okay. Well,
trying to keep track of things. You know what I mean?
Well, but you're just basically watching this. Oh, you're on Facebook?
There we go.
Okay.
Hey, all right.
Okay.
Keep track of things. You know what I mean? Well, hang on. Let me get these back on here. Hey, okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
Who is that?
Okay. So my other story that was pretty remarkable, the thing, yeah, her story about the piano kind of reminded me about this. I totally forgot about this. I had a Passat, a black Passat, that had a sunroof. And the sunroof would open and close by itself. And it would only do this when I was in the car alone, except with this one friend who was also psychic and saw spirits. So one day we're in the car, we're freezing, the sunroof is open, and in front of Kira I said, could you please close the sunroof? Because I didn't know if it was Archangel Michael or if it was my dad, so I said, could you please close the sunroof? And the sunroof just immediately shut, and she just looked at me and her face just went pale.
And I take it this is before they had Alexa in the cars or Siri, right?
Right. This was like in the 1990s.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, that was a pretty wild car. And then the car ended up getting crashed by somebody. But I have to tell you, that was my back car because I felt like there was spirit controlling the controls, especially with the sunroof. And I never knew. I always felt like half the time it was my angels and half the time it was my dad. I just had to share that.
Hey, it's always good to ride with angels, right? Always.
Right.
Always
totally.
Good. Definitely. Man, that is so awesome. So that was your Batmobile, huh?
That was my Batmobile.
That's great. That's a great story. I love the Passat too. I love that.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good whip back in the day. Absolutely. All right.
Right.
Well, thanks so much for sharing. We definitely appreciate it. I'm trying to tune in and see what we got going on the other side now. If anybody else. All right. So, and We're trying to hear everybody's spooky stories tonight. So, listen, we're doing a simulcast on YouTube and Facebook. My name's Justin Cardozo. I'm the Tragic Medium. And, look, I've got spooky stories for days. Maybe I'll share one. But really, what I'd like to hear are your spooky stories. So if you've got one, we've got open lines. Now's a chance. Let everybody know. You're not alone. See, the problem is a lot of people have these experiences. And what happens is they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to be that guy. They don't want to be that girl. They don't think anybody would understand. And what we're aiming to do is to show that other people have had experiences too. You're not alone. And that's why we're doing the open line. So we think we've got Denise calling in now. With more spooky stories. And welcome Nancy and Sammy. There we go. Very easy to do. All right. Here we go. Denise?
Hi there.
Hey, all right.
Hey, I'm back. I thought I'd go ahead and go again since others aren't really calling in
No, that's okay. Yeah, absolutely.
To try to encourage them. I mean, this is really cool that you're doing it like this. I love this format.
I do too. It's a matter of just getting people to... And Penelope, yeah, hang on. I mean, I would love to hear stories about entities and things, definitely. I'll give you the phone number here in just a little bit. If somebody could put that into the Facebook chat, the phone number of, what is the phone number? 91 area code 91. If you're in the United States, it is area code 918 900 WDOM, whatever that is. Oh no, in Australia, we're trying to figure out how to do that, man. How to get the international calling up. Gah! Next.
Actually, I called you on 918-200.
Is it 200?
9706. Yeah.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. The number is gone. It's missing. I don't, everybody left. So I'm here trying to work things,
Gotcha.
That's all right. Oh.
Gotcha.
Darn it.
Well, I've got another story from that same theater if you'd like to hear it.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
So it was when I was first starting to work at that theater. So I was more towards the age of 16, and I was kind of a flunky, and they would give me all kinds of the, worst jobs possible, the jobs that they didn't want to do, the crew.
Naturally.
Right. Go look for a sky hook. What? Okay. So they sent me on a job where I had to rearrange and reorganize what was called the chair room. So it was a room that was underneath the stage that was full of chairs, chairs and benches and that sort of thing, because it's a theater and it was inventory. So I was there in the room working and moving things around, and I was kind of deep into the room. So I was far away from, there was two entrances, and I was kind of far away from either entrance. And one of the entrances, this is an old theater. It was built in like the late 40s, early 50s. So I guess it's not that old, but it was old to me.
Right.
But it had like a fire door, and this fire door was a big metal door that would slide in a track, and it was really heavy. So, anyways, I was working away, and the chairs are really high up, and so it's hard to see over things. So I'm working away, and I heard the door open. I heard it slide open, and then I heard footsteps. And these footsteps were kind of coming towards me, and they were kind of slow and methodical, just kind of walking towards me. And so it caught my attention, and I kind of stopped, and I started calling out the different crew names of the guys that I worked with. Hey, you there? What's going on? Who's out there? And then I come out to the aisle, and I'm looking down the aisle, and I didn't see anybody. And then as I'm looking down the aisle, I heard the footsteps again, and then I saw the door open and shut, and there was nobody there. And so then, this is kind of new in me experiencing things, and so I was panicked, and I had to get out of there. I either had to go through the same door that this just happened at, or I had to cross through the area that this happened at to get to another side door. So that's what I did. I went up the second door and ran upstairs and got upstairs, and it was lunchtime, and there was one person that was upstairs in the back behind the stage, and he looked like he had been there for some time because he was immersed in whatever his project was, like he was working with hot glue and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so he had to be on it and working with it, and I was like, Jack, is there anybody else in the building? No, everybody's at lunch. They're out to lunch outside of the building.
Oh man.
So
that
was really frightening to me.
Oh yeah, definitely. I could definitely imagine. Oh man. So yeah, the theater, man. Theaters can give you the creeps, can't they? I mean, like Roseanne said, she always felt like there was somebody looking at her, but Roseanne.
Right.
Is
well,
the
I like the
consummate
audience to look at me.
Well,
but,
yeah,
I mean, but the
yeah,
we know. I know,
that's
but
all the point of being a performer.
All right. Well, thank you so much for. Yeah, go ahead. Go.
Well, and to finish out that story, so I kind of found out the history on that one. In I think it was the 50s or 60s, there was a tech director that the show itself was Jack and the Beanstalk, and so they had built a beanstalk up out of the area where I was working in. And they built it up through the stage floor. They opened up areas of the stage and built this beanstalk up through the stage floor.
Wow.
And so the tech director was showing the actor, Jack, who was playing Jack, where he could step on the beanstalk. And unfortunately, he misstepped. And he fell through, down the beanstalk, through the stage floor to that area down below where I was.
So it sounds like he forgot that he was Jack and thought he was playing the giant. I'm sorry.
That's
sorry.
When you need
couldn't help
it. Right.
But bumps. Yeah. All right. Wow, man. Oh, man. So yeah, that would explain that, wouldn't it? Oh boy.
Could be. So I know you're trying to keep it a little bit light, so I'm giving you light stories, but. Yeah, so hopefully others will call in and share, because this is definitely a great community to be able to do this. So come on in and call in, people.
Thank you, Denise. Definitely appreciate that. Thank you. Yay.
Yay. All right. I do my Nicole Kidman clap for you, Denise.
All right, so now...
So we have a few more people who want to call in.
Excellent. From Facebook?
Actually, yes. One on Facebook wants to
call
in.
Penelope came on over to YouTube.
All right.
All
awesome.
right. Cool.
Yay, welcome.
First, I just told Paula that after Denise she can call in. I'm going to give her the phone
All
number
right,
real quick.
go ahead. Give we have Paula next. I love this. This is great.
Well, you're like...
I love hearing people's stories,
Well, this is like... You love Ghostbusters, so like this is all your thing.
This is my thing, man.
Yep.
There we go.
Give it up to Gelman. Yep.
And next time, he'll even be able to have the Facebook chat on screen here as well.
Actually, we can see both.
Yeah, because we could see both.
Oh,
he just
Summer,
didn't get that.
That's so weird. You're the second one who said that.
So if you're actually, you know what? I'm going to link you to Help article about that, because on your phone you may not have YouTube notifications enabled even if you selected the bell. So a lot of times people don't have that enabled on their phone.
Lily, actually we never saw that one, but we Justin saw he's excited because Ghostbusters 3 is coming out next year, 2020.
That's it.
Like
All right, and
original
here we
cast?
go.
Yeah, with the original cast.
Hey, thank you so much for calling in. And who is this? Who am I speaking with?
This is Paula Bowers from
Hey.
Texas.
Hey, welcome. Hey, we're your neighbors to the north. We're up in Oklahoma, so fantastic. Welcome to the live. Definitely appreciate you calling in, and we'd love to hear your spooky story. Let's go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, my first one, I was born in Oklahoma and had grandparents and aunts and uncles that lived in Oklahoma. And, you know, I go to my grandma's house, and aunt and uncle lived just across the garden, and they had a big old house. And we used to play hide and seek in this old house.
Mm-hmm.
But there was this one room downstairs that it was just dark, you know. It wasn't like the rest of the house. And anyway, but I decided to hide in the closet. And
so you decided to hide in the closet in the dark room that felt different than the rest of the house.
Yeah.
Wow, you were really trying to win, weren't you?
No one would ever go in that room. And so, yeah, and I could hear them, you know, catching other cousins, you know, in the house. And I was just like, and then all of a sudden I was just like, oh, there was someone else in that closet with me. And I just bolted out, you know. I was just like,
yeah,
I'm it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and
go ahead.
To find out there was a elderly woman, family person that had lived there and died there, and I was just like, oh, well, that makes sense.
Wow.
And then there was another time when I was in my teens. My stepdad had died in a car accident, and it wasn't just me; it was my sister that. I felt his presence, and I saw it in my mind's eye, and she felt the presence of him like the third day after he had died, when he walked through our house and was just kind of looking as he walked through the house like he was, I don't know, he was just kind of checking things out as he was leaving. And so, yeah, it was just kind of a validation, because I didn't share that until, you know, I was had problems. Excuse me, allergies here.
Oh yeah.
Later, you know, I was kind of freaking out about the whole situation, you know, as a teenager does. They lose someone like that, and we started talking about our experiences, and you know, we shared that. It was like, wow, you saw that too? Yeah, me too. You know, it was kind of cool, kind of crazy.
Yeah.
No, it's meant to be comforting in a way.
It is.
Because a lot of times, because here's what happens. We had a very similar, if not the exact same thing, when Roseanne's brother had passed. Their stepmother, after he had passed, shortly, I mean within hours.
It was like within an hour.
Within an hour of him passing, he presented himself to their stepmother of all people, and she saw him, and it was clear as day, and it was him saying goodbye. You know, and they'll take that moment to bring you a little comfort, just to let you know
children have that same.
Yeah, just to let you know that they are still there. They may not be there in the physical, but they are in the spiritual. And so that's fantastic that you acknowledge that.
What part of Oklahoma were you from?
Western Oklahoma. I was born in Elk City, Oklahoma. My grandparents' farm was in Canoe, Oklahoma. My dad Lived in Chickasha, Oklahoma for a long time. My stepsister lives in Rush Springs. My second cousin was governor for a while.
Wow.
The only one west of I-35.
Who was your second cousin?
David Walters.
I'm sorry.
Back in the day.
David Walters. Okay, I remember him. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, look at your.
All right. Well, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
You
Well,
can see
thank
my
you. I mean,
grandparents'
you're
farm
a
and
first-time viewer, aren't you?
I've seen you once or twice, maybe, but briefly. But yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in and sharing. I mean, we definitely enjoy it. It's really good for everybody to kind of share stories like this, because it lets other people know that
we're all the same.
We're all the same, and that because so many people see things like that and then talk themselves out of it, or don't want to be labeled crazy, and it's not.
Well, there's another thing. Like when I was like 7 years old, you were talking about the age thing, the psychic stuff and the past life stuff. That really hit home with me, because when I was first started second grade and I was learning how to write, I was trying to write a story about a little Indian boy, a young Indian man or child, and a horse, and it was me. And I started writing it, and then my sister came along and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing? Oh, you're writing this." And then she tried to show Mom, and I, as far as past lives go, I think,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that really hit home, and I'm glad y'all talked about that tonight. That kind of.
Well, we'll be talking more about that going forward. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't already, please, we'd love it if you would subscribe or like and share or whatever
I'm on
it
a
is.
delay, so my questions to her are like a 3 second, 10-second delay.
Okay.
So I have a question actually, because she said that really shaped her life, like that, remembering it, but she shut it off. Do you feel like, and the fact that you remember it so vividly, do you feel like that, from that moment, were you comfortable with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then shutting it off, now, is it something that you still, get glimpses of, or little just kind of peeks?
I think that life was a very pleasant life. I think it was hard at times, but, I think in that moment I had a lot of pleasant memories. And then, I don't know, my mom, she was very in tune with spirituality and talking about dreams, especially with kids in past lives. And she remembered me telling her about a dream that I had told her about. I don't remember the dream, but I had told her about being stuck on a white cake and I couldn't get down, and someone, I don't remember, some other intuitive told her that they thought I had died in a snowstorm. So that might be what that was about.
Wow.
Okay.
But yeah. But that, that kind of makes sense with some of the Native American stories, so.
Wow. That's so great. Yeah, and when we're 7, you're still close enough to it to where you could channel it and be writing in the first person and remembering it, channeling it almost as if it's a memory. So this is fantastic. That's great.
But, and, I've had different intuitive dreams, just, off and on, my whole life.
Sure.
Nothing major, but, nothing to be, not professional like you guys, but, that stuff,
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well,
it's still there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and we hope you tune in in future podcasts. I really kind of like how this is working out.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate
I
that.
appreciate you guys, too. Thank you.
Anytime. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
See, there you go.
I love this, and
love
people
that.
are loving this. See, look at that. Denise Stewart says, "I love this, guys. My kids have so many things And now I don't feel like we are the crazy family.
No.
Exactly. That's the whole point. I know we don't talk about this side that often because people are wanting to hear from their loved ones. And, you know, and there are many nights where, you know, but this is that, you know, what we do, you know, this is another side of, you know, that kind of all brings us together. There's lots of people who have had moments like that and they don't know how to explain it. And some people are just so afraid of it. And to me, there's nothing to be afraid of.
No.
You know?
No,
there's nothing to be afraid of. You know, I find it to be extremely comforting, you know, and it's when you're open to it. That's
Absolutely.
the most important thing, is you have to be open to it.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Now, I have to tell you, I think I look like Priscilla Presley. Like, circa, like, when she was, like... No, like, right around when she was, like, just first marrying Elvis, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the hair.
Yeah. It's all good.
It's hot, though. It's hot.
All right, so I think we've got Penelope up next. I think she's figured out a way to call in from Australia.
Okay. Wow. If this works, it'll be crazy.
Yeah. So we'll see.
We'll see. We love her.
And
there she
is.
is.
Okay, well. Hey, is this Penelope?
Hi, yes it is. How are you?
Hey, you're doing fantastic. Wow, you figured out how to call in. That's great. Perfect.
I certainly did. Where there's a will, there's a way.
All
Absolutely.
right. Well, thank you so much.
We want to tell you we love our Australian viewers.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Definitely.
Well, honestly, it was just like a matter of chance that I've tuned into you for the first time, and I'm like, wow, you guys are cool.
Oh, well, cool. Thank you. We definitely appreciate that. So.
Anytime. I've actually got lots of different stories.
Okay.
My sister and I were brought up in a spiritual way. Both my parents are medium clairvoyant. And it was just, I suppose, a natural progression to, be interested in the same things. I've got twins now who are 14 and a half, and they both see things all the time. But the entities, now that was a really interesting story. We actually moved into a two-story old Italian house in Perth, Australia, a couple of years ago, and I actually, because I see spirits mostly in my third eye, and sometimes I'll see them physically. But this time I saw a little girl with red hair run downstairs, actually, like, not using the stairs though. She kind of flew off the landing and down. And I never said anything to anyone because I didn't want to freak my children out. Anyway, my daughter Grace was saying, Mum, there's a little red-haired girl that lives here. So I was like, wow, like, I wasn't just going crazy, you know?
Right.
How you think that you are. So we actually see very much the same sorts of things. She can actually finish off, if I've got a song in my head, she'll sing the exact same line a split second later. So we're very connected in that way. Both my children have seen all my pets from when I was a little girl, which I've never actually told them about.
Wow.
With the entities, that was really kind of a spooky story, actually. There was drugs in the household, as far as, like, on a personal level with an ex-partner. And so I do believe that opened up a lot of darkness. Mm-hmm. And my daughter was actually walking past the lounge room and felt something staring at her, and she looked off to the right, and there was this four-legged entity. Almost, she described it as a very oversized panther, and it was clinging to the ceiling roof of the light. And she just looked straight ahead and started running, and that jumped on the ground, and it actually followed up the adjacent hallway. And when she went to go into her room, she saw it at the other end of the hallway, and then quickly ran left to where her brother's room was and ran into his room, and that was it. Now, she has actually seen two entities, and I honestly do believe they actually came around because of the drug influence and the very heavy open energy there.
Mm-hmm.
And she has never seen anything. I know, hopefully this is appropriate, but she has never seen anything as scary as that. We actually did a cleansing on the home, and they actually, banished them. I don't know how, but again, I suppose my mothering came into role. So that was definitely very scary. So it just goes to show you that when you leave yourself open, or when people leave themselves open and do take other sorts of drugs, it can actually open portholes to things like that.
That's a great point.
She actually used to see, Aboriginal people, who are the indigenous people of Australia, they are very much drawn to her, as in spirit, and even people that come up to her. So I do believe she had a past life as an Aboriginal. And she actually came running into my room as a little girl, because we lived in another home, and she said that she saw an Aboriginal man and two children that had passed over, and she wouldn't go back into her room. So I went in there and I opened up her door, and the thick energy just freaked me out. I'm getting goosebumps now as I speak about it. So I quickly closed the door, and she ran into my room, and I got help to close off. She said there was 2 portholes that were open, and that was the land that the ancestors were on, and they felt very drawn to come into the house. And because of my children are very light, they get drawn towards their light. Another one, I actually lost a baby well before they were born. And so having twins, I think they were about 1.5, 2 years old, and they were playing, probably 2, they were playing a little game, and they left a room for a person, like a gap in their little sort of game on the floor. And I asked them, sort of what were they doing, at 2? And and I actually felt the little boy that I actually lost was actually playing there, and they used to refer to him by another name, and they used to include him in all their games. So it was interesting that he was coming through as, and they wouldn't know about that, Another one, my mum had actually recently passed, and I get messages like they drop down into my brain, not my own thoughts, but spiritual thoughts. And I had the pantry door open in the kitchen, and my thought that dropped down was, when you close the pantry door, you will see your mother, see your spirit. And I didn't want to close the pantry door in some ways, but I so did. But as I closed the pantry door, there was this moon-shaped light about the size of a beach ball hovering about 1 meter off the ground. And that was, I honestly knew that was my mum's spirit. And I saw it as if I'm looking at you. So it really actually freaked me out, as much as, because obviously I've never seen her spirit before.
Well, sure,
Yeah, it was just lots of crazy things have happened, to be honest, but really, really helpful things. I'll often get told that there's going to be an accident as I'm driving, and I'll quickly change lanes, and there's an accident that happens. Really helpful messages. A really interesting one, my dad is 76, he lives in New Zealand, and so a very much older man. Dad used to go along to do addresses and mediumship, clairvoyant readings at different churches in New Zealand. And his mentor was this very, very old man who looked at least 90 years old when I was probably a teenager. And my dad was describing when he was a little boy, and they used to make coffins by hand, and they had horse and cart. So this is going back a long time ago, because I'm 48 now. He used to go down and tell the coffin maker how many coffins he would have to make that week and that month, and how many people were going to die. And he just thought that everyone could had that gift. So he used to get a penny or some money for actually telling the coffin maker how many coffins he had to make, be obviously different, relatively different sizes, but people were kind of similar proportions at that stage.
Wow.
But he actually came up with a machine that actually used to measure psychic ability long before anyone or any inventions were there to say that. And this was years and years ago.
Wow.
And he actually came through later years and told me different things about my mum's passing, which obviously he couldn't know because he wasn't here alive, but he was in spirit. Yeah, so very much kept in the family, but he actually used to levitate because we had spiritual developing circles at our home growing up. And as a little girl, I used to stare through the crack of the door watching these developing spiritual circles happen. So, yeah, just, I don't know, a bit of a race and a jumble of all sorts of different spiritual stories. But, yeah, just part of what I'm interested in, too.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, there's nothing wrong with that. And it sounds like you've had quite a plethora of experiences. It definitely helps growing up in a household where your clairvoyance and clairaudience is not stifled or, cut off at that early age like so many of us, right?
Absolutely.
It's
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely helpful. And it's always interesting, we're here in the States, in Oklahoma, and it's always interesting to hear different takes from around the world. And so I love hearing that. I mean, it's incredible, and I love the fact that you help support and foster your children's development and abilities. And the fact you mentioned something very, very important in the fact that people can, even no matter how protected you are, evil always needs an invite, right? And so we have to be very careful and selective of the people that we allow into our lives, because even though we have our protection and we aim specifically to keep darkness away, the people that we allow in, they may not do that, and they may bring it with them, and so we have to be incredibly careful when we're talking about people who are sensitive, empaths, psychics, or psychic mediums, right? And so, I mean, you've just brought a wealth of information and knowledge to the table, and that's so great.
Oh, great! I'm glad. Actually, can I just tell you a really quick one, which is very interesting? So, I used to live down a little laneway, and there were, a few different little homes or houses that as we passed down the main driveway together, they were houses to the left and to the right, and we lived at the end. My children would always see this man in a convict's outfit in black and white stripes, and he was Aboriginal, so from Australia. And he used to cross their path, cross the driveway. It got so bad, and I never actually saw him like they did. I used to see him in my third eye. It got so bad that they used to duck their little heads down so that they couldn't see what was crossing the driveway as we went down the driveway. I didn't ever feel any danger, but just acknowledgement of a spirit. Anyway, my partner at the time, actually, we were telling him about it, and he actually felt the energy, and he said, I can't see him, but and he used to smoke cigarettes. So anyway, he said, I'll leave my cigarettes on the roof of my car, help yourself to a smoke. So he was talking to him just as like I'm talking to you, and I kind of like laughed it off, thinking he's just joking. Anyway, when he hopped in the car, he said, hop in with me and you come back to my place. This is what he said to the spirit. I kid you not. But
Why would you do that?
I kid you not.
Wow. Okay.
My children never, ever saw that spirit ever again. He actually went with my ex-partner, and he was happy, and he never saw him again either. So this spirit actually needed a place to go, and he actually ended up going to another place and was quite happy. And my children never saw him again, so they were very happy as well. So
maybe he thought he
everywhere.
was still on the chain gang, and this guy gave him,
absolutely.
Think about it. And then this guy gave him a ride to freedom. He was just like, didn't realize he served it. Yeah, that's it, man. He got a cigarette and a ride, man, and I guess he just didn't realize that he had served his term. But that's incredible.
He got a ride in the fast car, absolutely. And and that's a really happy story from the chain gang to freedom. There you go.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Penelope, Denise brings up a good point here in the chat. It'd be great if you could share with us what you did to be able to call in for our Australian audience tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll share the link. But it's an exit code that we need to call from Australia, and then I just put in Oklahoma and the 918 that was written on the Facebook. But absolutely, I'll try and look up the link again and go from there. But thank you, I appreciate your time, and have a happy Halloween, guys.
Hey, same to you. Great, thank you so much. You have a great one. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Wow, a wealth of information and stories from. She's gonna find the link, and there's like an exit code that they have to type in and stuff. So she'll find the link and try to post it here for us.
I know, that was like really cool.
That was really good. Really good. Really good.
Sorry, I was manning the
It's okay,
control center.
I know it.
Okay. Do we have anybody else in queue?
I don't know.
Let's see here.
Do we have anybody else in queue?
No, there's no one in queue.
Okay.
Everyone was just kind of going at it. There's not really any queue going
Yeah. You know, so it's kind of a new format, a new setup.
Now, the Bayless thing. Now, we also do card readings. If anybody's wanting a card reading tonight, we could do that. Unless you have, if in between phone calls, if somebody wants a card reading, Dominic can hit the, you can put the price and how to pay for me. And then if you want a card reading, especially to cleanse yourself, to, I know that sounds crazy, right?
What?
Cleansing yourself, with the veil thinning.
No, it doesn't sound crazy at all.
No. It's so important. So, yeah. I gotta tell you, like, the stories are just insane. Like, just everybody sharing their stories. I know Denise Barrett Stewart. Okay, Lily. Okay, cool. Thank you, Lily. I gotta tell you, like, Denise Barrett, I know she lives in town, and she has, Denise, are you still on, Denise Barrett Stewart? She has a house that's active. And I was like, we need to go there. So that way, Dominic we can all investigate.
That's it.
I heard that too, Aaron. You had your, hi, Cheryl. Yeah, we're doing call-ins. Oh, Lily. Okay, she wants 8 full card readings. So, Justin, do your thing, babe.
Grab the cards for me.
Sure. And
since we're doing is that it?
Huh?
You want to shuffle them up?
I can shuffle them, yeah.
Sure.
While we're doing it. Hi, Amanda.
Hey, Amanda, welcome.
Hello, welcome.
Definitely appreciate it. So we're going to be doing
we're broadcasting simultaneously tonight on Facebook and YouTube. So if you are new to YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell and give us a thumbs up. If you are on Facebook, make sure you hit the like and follow, because the notifications are really, really weird on Facebook. And
how do your surgery go, Cheryl? We've been keeping you in our prayers here.
Okay, there's Penelope's. She Googled international dialing codes to the USA, Oklahoma.
Oh,
awesome.
Cool.
So anybody who is out of the country, that's what you need to do. Google international dialing codes to the United States. State is Oklahoma. Yeah, Denise store. Okay, there you are. So you still have that house, right? That needs to... Oh, that's your form... House is in my former home. Okay. You made it simple by putting in where you're calling from Perth, Australia for me. Okay. Okay. Okay, Dom, take note of that.
Okay.
What she's saying. So we can inform, because that's...
Yeah, because I just looked it up. It's just +1 for US. So if you're calling in, you just type in 1, then the number. And, of course, there's international charges if you're...
Calling from your regular phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also an exit code. You'll have to look that up, though, for your country.
So if you are on Facebook and you would like to join us over on YouTube, because most of the time we broadcast only from YouTube, so but our producer here tonight has decided to do a simultaneous one.
Yeah,
and everybody's just sharing their spooky stories, but if you do want a card reading, we only do full card pulls. It is $25, and we are about to read Lily.
And Lily, did you want to call in for this?
Yeah, did you want to call in for the card reading? Why not? Dom's notes. Although I can't hear anything, and it's such a delay that like I'm missing a lot of stuff. Hi, Samantha Miller.
Hey, Samantha Miller. Welcome.
Dominic, take note what she just wrote.
Thank you, Penelope. Appreciate that.
There you go.
Hey there, Lily.
Yep, it's me.
All right. All right, so we got everything shuffled up. We get a full card reading going here for you.
Okie doke.
Lily, you're becoming a regular, girl.
I know. Sorry. I've watched you a couple of times. I thought you guys were great. So I wanted to see what the Halloween thing was going to be about. But the stories have been great.
Yeah, absolutely. I like this format.
Well, thank you.
Figured we'd do something fun for Halloween, something a little bit different, you know.
Right.
I know. Justin and Dominic only got one story recorded, and maybe after this we could tell another story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we'll tell another spooky story.
I'll do another one, yeah.
Yeah.
But which one?
Deceivers.
Save that one.
Why? That one's scary. You need to scare them.
Because it's short and sweet, that's why. Something a little...
So should I ask my question, or do you guys want to just go ahead and do a general read?
You could ask a question. I'm going to give you a general read anyway. But,
sure.
Yeah.
So here's my question. I've been seeing somebody named Hank Botoff for 3 years. He's been delaying things because he's put work first, and he's in Hawaii. I'm in San Diego. He's making a killing amount of money. The other person that I think might come in is my dog's vet, Andy McClellan. And then the other perception that I get is that there might be someone brand new that I might end up with, that I might settle down with. So my question to you guys is, what do you pick up?
Here, hold these.
Yes, I hope I do marry and settle down. Correct.
So, right off the bat, the first one I gotta know, because it doesn't jive with who you are, right?
Okay.
The focus on money, while money is important, you view money as a means to do good things.
Correct.
Right? It's a tool. It's simply a tool.
Right.
It does not mean happiness. And you would never be able to live a fulfilled life with someone who views the number associated with the amount of money they have as what they perceive to be happiness.
Right.
You see what I mean? Because it'll never be enough. So that one, that's a no-go.
Okay. So what do you feel about Andy, the vet, or the new person?
Here's the thing with Andy, the vet. What I get just like that, my first thing, first thing that I get is that something would have popped off already. Because here's something with him would have popped off already. Because here's the thing, there's a flirtation that goes back and forth there, right?
Right.
But you are a very strong type of personality, and you would need a man that would get over, because let's be honest, you have a very intense energy, and it's very easy for you to intimidate many men.
Probably, yeah.
No, probably. I'm telling you, this is what's happening. The answer is not to dull down your personality or your fire and your light. That's not the answer. So really, could something happen with him? Yes. But here's the thing. I think eventually you would get tired of being the dominant force of that relationship. And what I see really is, given time, you are going to find an equal. Okay, not only in interests, but in life experiences, and personality, and
do you have
energy.
any sense about timing at all?
The timing depends on you. Right?
Really?
The timing depends on you, because here's what you have been doing, is you have been compromising.
Oh, I see.
You see what I mean? Because you have boiled it down to flipping a coin of either here or there. Instead of being open to all possibilities. You see what I mean?
Gotcha. Yes.
And you really have to take into account your personality type,
right?
And being open to new things. Now, here's what I will tell you: what I see, and anyone who's watched me any amount of time knows that I normally don't do these types of things, right? But with you, I'm getting a very strong sense of what's happening.
Okay.
I want you to be completely open, even if the person doesn't immediately fit your type.
Okay.
Okay? Because you've got a very strong sense of who your type is.
Yeah.
And it's only when we're willing to kind of step, because I feel like this is going to be like another one of those, wow, really? But the attraction is going to be magnetic.
Wow.
But the thing is, though, it'll only be magnetic if you're open to it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Does that make sense? Now,
yes,
the timing, it's going to be sooner than you think.
Okay.
It'll be sooner than you think. So we're not talking a year's time frame here.
No,
but
I feel more like the end of the year, the beginning of the year.
It's going to be 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
But again, that's given. I feel like you're receiving everything I'm saying because it's jiving with what you already knew.
Yeah.
It's just that third party independent confirmation sometimes that we need.
Yeah, no, totally.
Because the person is floating around. They're floating around you. Okay?
Huh.
And it'll be like, "Oh wow, where have you been?"
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting.
That's hysterical.
And I usually don't get like relationship stuff that clear.
Uh-huh.
But for you, it's coming in uber clear.
First card that was pulled, though.
Okay.
The first card that was pulled? Go ahead.
The first card that was pulled... I mean, he reads without the cards. I read with cards. The first card that was pulled was Heaven is Watching Over You.
Cool.
Which you knew. Those were the stories tonight, right? Obviously.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just a confirmation of what you know. But what's interesting about this and what he's telling you... I can't take this... I'm, like, on a delay here, so I can't really hear her. But, right next to it is the learning experience, and then next to that is activist, which is turned upside down. And I feel very, very strongly that all these, you've got 3 situations that are going on, plus, not to mention, you have like all your past life experiences, not past life, but just in this lifetime, like all your relationships. You're starting, this is something that I talk about constantly, is that, you're starting to see patterns and you're taking note of it, and those experiences that you have in relationships, you are going to start weeding out what you don't want. But we don't, as women, we don't want to make the wrong choice because, like this one, look, most of us want, a lot of women, marrying somebody or being with somebody who has money, it's very tempting. But, there's a compromise to that, because they work a lot, unless they're just, I mean.
She's saying she knows.
Okay, yeah. So, the Don't Compromise card came out.
Oh,
Ironically,
really?
next to the Don't Compromise card was the Animals card that came out upside down.
Wow.
So, steady progress in your decision making is really important. Really be focused on take inventory of everything that you've done. Ask yourself these 3 questions, Lily. What it is that you have to have, what it is that you need, what it is that you want, and what is it that you have to have. When you ask yourself what it is that you have to have, that's the deal breaker. Because that is all the stuff that hasn't worked out before. Those 3 things is something that I tell people, women all the time. It's something that I use in my life. It's what I used in my life before I met him. So it works. And we get into periods in our life where we have to make decisions.
I've learned with each soulmate. It's really true.
So
and I almost feel like the soulmates.
Those questions.
Yeah, I almost feel like the soulmates that I've known that have not worked out are kind of keeping an eye, because I know that maybe later on, after they mature, things might change. Not now, but for like a second marriage type of thing.
Yeah, but you're not a second marriage type of girl.
No, I know. I'm just saying it's interesting to see how things have really progressed over, I'd say 15, 20 years of knowing some of these people. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are stuck in old world values.
Right.
Which doesn't really jive with who you are.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I have to say, though, she had the wife's decision card that's upside down. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're a leader upside down. Faith upside down, and then activist is upside down, and it's making an L right here. Mm-hmm. And what I feel, without a doubt, is that right now, like, this has got her kind of like twisted, emotionally, like where to go, because it's like that's a big decision,
right?
So she has to have more faith in herself to make sure that she doesn't lose being the activist of her life and what she wants,
right?
Because it's so important, and it's a wise decision that you maintain that faith and take that self-inventory of yourself. But most of all,
I can do that.
Do not compromise.
Right, I won't.
She won't. But yeah, it's just about taking...
You guys are very funny.
Yeah,
she won't. No, I really won't. I mean it. So I'll pretty much follow through and see what happens.
Yeah, no, and I definitely want to know when that guy shows up, because it's going to catch you off guard.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be outside of your type. Not in a bad way, though.
No, I know.
I found it interesting that you said someone that needs to challenge her.
Well, I saw Me and You.
Yeah.
That's the vision I got.
Yeah.
I got that exact vision of Me and You. Like a very, very strong feminine energy, a very strong.
Not a man. Not in a man.
For you. I'm talking about for you.
Right. For her, yeah.
And it's the same type of energy from her. She's solid in her beliefs. She knows what's what. And the thing is that the first guy is all about money, and he's about toys, right? He's about toys. So no, look, and possessions. So when he puts a ring on it, the ring is a possession, meaning you become a possession, and that ain't you.
No.
You know what I mean? That just ain't you.
It's not.
Because that's what he would expect. Like, you know what I mean? And that that leads to nothing but heartache. And he's about his toys. You know what I mean? Second guy, uber nice guy. Super nice, right?
Yeah,
and
he is.
Yeah, I know. And feels like it would be a great fit, and everything makes sense on paper. And look, if the guy summons up the courage to ask you out, I would say go out on a date with him. But what I see is that over time, it would get old. You would act out expecting something.
You'll know. On the first date,
expecting
I don't believe
something
that.
more, right? But you don't take too kindly to being labeled with like a crazy stick. You know, you don't want to be labeled like that. But the guy would be too nice, and he wouldn't push.
He wouldn't challenge you. You can walk if you can walk all over a man. Then it's a turn off. And I don't mean walk all over him, meaning it's like.
I think everybody knows what you mean. I think we're all old enough and mature enough to understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's there's an unspoken thing. And it's not like, young people might think I'm saying, oh, you want an abusive man. No, it's not that. There's an equality of energy, and respect.
Yeah.
And respect, right?
This is going to be very interesting.
That has to happen. And that's going to come. That's going to come,
Okay.
So.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this will be very interesting.
Just stay
because I feel like it's going to happen soon. Okay.
All right. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, she said yeah. She said yeah. It's interesting because she said she feels like it's going to happen soon.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I hear. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you
it's
like?
A delay. It's a delay. Yeah.
No, I hear you though.
No.
Definitely. And so, as far as the cards go, right? So the anchor card that you got is Heaven's watching over you. We know what that means, right? That's pretty clear cut. The learning experience card right next to it is everything that you're talking about now, because it feels like that is the main focus of where you're at right now. Let me put one of you, because I'm starting to see a latent fear that you have hidden deep down behind this confidence that you give off.
Okay.
The latent fear of that there isn't anybody for you. Totally false. That is totally false. Well, it's not even that. It's more of the fact that you're going to miss it. It's more of the fact that you're going to miss it.
Well, and it's taken so long. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's...
Can I say something about the taking so long?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I think that is I know that as women, that's like the one thing we get frustrated with. It's that it's taking so long. Because we just, like, what's going on? But the longer it takes, the more experiences that we have in our life, we learn from those experiences. Those become the life lessons that we learn. And and sometimes when it helps us understand, obviously we have better communication, but it weeds out what we like and what we don't like. And I'm a big believer that one date is all you need to know whether or not you have anything in common with the person. Because after one date, if you don't have anything in common with the person, you can't force chemistry, you know?
No, I know.
But the old adage says that, what good things come to those who wait, and also when you don't look for love, it hits you, it finds you. And I really feel like that's the thing. You don't feel bad that it's not going to happen, because once you turn that off and stop thinking that, it will.
Right.
And it's not been so much on the forefront of our minds, but because, and the reason that you haven't found the person is because you've been operating in the safe zone. You've had 2 fallbacks.
Interesting. Okay.
Dude with dough, nice guy. Dude with dough, nice guy. Dude, you see what I'm saying? And that's your safety net. That's your safety net.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
I sound like such a player according to you. It's so funny. I will change it. I will change up the dynamic here.
Yeah, no, and it's all good, man. I'm not saying that safety nets are a bad thing.
And you live in San Diego, so right?
Right.
Yeah, San Diego, man.
So
yeah, world's your oyster, man.
Well, I mean, the men down there, they got money,
Please. Yeah, it's more finding someone of a quality that's got equal energy. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Bingo. It is. It really is. Because, listen, I mean,
Right.
You can't buy quality.
Exactly.
Well, not when it comes to a person.
Yeah. Right.
And good energy. You want somebody who's it's worth the wait.
Yes, and it's going to happen.
She's got
I see it within the next 6 to 8 months.
fantastic energy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okie doke.
6 to 8 months.
Alrighty.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it's by the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Keep an eye open for those Christmas parties.
I will. I will definitely do so.
All right. Yeah, definitely keep us in the loop, though.
I will keep you in the loop.
Yeah, I think we all want to know. Everybody on here is like,
because I do readings for everybody else.
Lily
it's so
updates.
funny. And I describe their soulmates, and I describe timing, and I even give people their pregnancy and their timing. I got that gift. But when it comes to me, I'm like, woo, I don't know. It's so frustrating.
It's the matchmaker complex.
Yeah.
Right?
It's horrible.
Yeah. It's the Yentl complex.
Yenta.
Yeah.
The Yenta complex.
Yeah, no.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
Yeah, it's all good.
Matchmaker, make me a match. Yeah.
There you go.
There's always a song involved.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I think
all right. Well, thank you so much. I honestly enjoyed
you become friends
really.
with Tracy on here. She'll find you a man 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
Right. Okay.
All right.
We might have to have a segment called Lily's Progress. Like Denise just said in that.
And I'll have to tell you how Hank handles it. Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, there you go.
That was awesome. Lily's awesome. Hi, Trudy. I hope you're still on. Oh, my God. Lily, you're so funny, I swear.
All right. Good.
That was awesome.
All right, so I think we can close it out with
a short story, and then because with no more readings tonight, we'll definitely be back on. We're not going to be on tomorrow because it's obviously Halloween, and we got to take
kids trick. That's why we did it tonight.
That's why we did it tonight.
Right. So
she does have great energy. Oh God, I'm getting a delay.
All right, so
I can't see that.
I think we're done with this part. This bit. Okay, so here's the thing.
I'm about done with this wig.
No, you're not. No, you're not. All right, so let's see here. I know you said you want to talk about deceivers. That's kind of quick, and I think that I got plans for that one. So I didn't want to do that one. So let's see.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Lily. No, it was YouTube, but it was just by mere seconds, and it was just driving me crazy.
So
have a great night, Tina.
Yeah, hey, take it easy, Tina. Have a happy Halloween. So, which one should I tell? Let's see here. The graveyard one? We can do that. Nah. You want to talk about deceivers, right? Which one do you think?
Well, I know which one I want. Scary story, Justin. They want a scary story.
Okay. You can't interrupt, though.
Okay. All right, I'll be quiet.
Okay.
Do you remember it? Okay. I'm going to exit stage left even. And go over there. Sorry, I interrupt you.
Oh, you'll still interrupt.
No, I won't.
It's okay.
Starting now. See?
So
I told her to be quiet. I mean, starting now. It's Kramer.
As everything goes crashing down.
I know. Almost.
Okay. Okay. So, scary story. Scary story. You think that the problem is, well, no, I'm listen.
There's a lot of people that we still can do it live. I mean, on a YouTube, there's going to be people who will watch it on a YouTube, and it's shorter, so we can make it more.
Okay. All right. So, picture it. I'm Sophia. That's right, Sophia Petrillo. Picture it. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 2016. No, I'm just kidding. But really. So I worked as an HVAC technician for a big manufacturer of commercial air conditioners that go on top of big commercial roofs. Okay? Now, I worked with a guy named Ted. And Ted knew what I could do. I had given him readings in the past. We're going to keep this kind of short and sweet, but get right to it. I had given him readings in the past, just kind of on the fly, right there in the manufacturing facility. People would come and pop in, and, you know, it blew his mind, but he understood because his culture allowed for it, right? One day, Ted comes in and begins to tell me, hey, Just, man, because he looked tired. I said, Ted, what's wrong? What's going on? I said, man, I'm just tired, man. I said, kids have been getting up, man, coming running into our room and waking us up at about 3 o'clock in the morning, every morning. I go, wow, what's causing that? And he says, you know, they keep saying that there's a guy at their window. And I'm like, man, I don't know, you know, and whenever I go in there, there's no one outside, there's no footprints or anything. It's, you know, it's crazy. So, so they sleep in our room with us. I said, okay. Good night, Lily. Happy Halloween. And so, After a couple of times of this happening, I said, well, hey, man, do you want me to take a look for you? You want me to kind of remote in and see what's going on there? So, yeah, could you? And so I do that. I meditate. I go and I see. And I'm like, yeah, there's definitely something. I said, I described his house. I said, you back to a green belt or there's like woods back behind your house? He goes, yeah. I said, well, there's something coming from the woods, getting their attention. That's probably what they're seeing. And he goes, oh, okay. Well, one night, the kids fell asleep in their room early, and he decided to go and sleep in their room because he had to get up for work early. He's sleeping, and all of a sudden, he hears, you know, around 3 o'clock in the morning, he's awakened. Tap, tap, tap. wakes up in a confusion saying, what's happening? He hears it again. Now he's awake. Tap, tap, tap. It's coming from the kid's window. He looks over at the window and he hears it a third time. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, somebody's tapping on the window. And so he goes over to the window and pulls the curtains open. Nothing there. Now you have to understand, there's no trees that could be tapping on the window. No, nothing. He puts his shoes on and, he goes outside. And he could feel an energy out there. And he felt it coming from the woods behind the house. So it turned out, long story short, that in his culture there are things called deceivers that come from the woods. And they lure children into the woods for them to never be seen again. And he knew at that point that that's what he was dealing with. And so that's a freaky thing for it to happen to you and to know that this is real, this is happening, and they're trying to get my kids. I meditated on it, put protection around it. He did as well. And followed some rules followed some things that he had to do to keep everything safe. Long story short, he did those things and it did stop. But the point of the story is that the deceivers are very real. And if your house backs to a forest, make sure you keep your windows locked. Ooh. All right, and so that's it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you guys had fun. Gio wants to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. People on Facebook, people on YouTube. Come say goodbye. Creepy. Yeah, it is a quick story, so... Yeah, oh yeah, and real quick, I made a post a little while ago. Your head's gone.
Bye-bye.
Look, here,
Bye-bye.
look. Let me see. There he is.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And so if anybody wants a mediumship reading, I am running a 50% off special on the mediumship readings for the next, I'll call it a week. All right, so... Does a thin line of trees count? No, it would have to be woods, Aaron. It would have to be woods. Don't worry. But yeah, definitely, if you're looking for a mediumship reading, private mediumship reading, now's the time. We got a 50% off special for Halloween going on for the next week or so. But with that, thank you so much.
Great deal. You'll only find it here or only find it now.
That's it. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And if you have any questions, definitely just as far as like the price goes, just shoot us a message on Facebook. And yeah, thanks so much for joining. I hope you guys, if you guys liked this format, let us know. Let us know in either, in a message or in a comment or whatever, because we're always keeping an eye on that stuff, and we'll try to do more things like this. We're trying to get it to where... we're trying to get everybody involved more. It's a lot of fun.
I think there's a link to the Facebook messenger.
Below.
Yeah, and just message us for the price. But it's only for a short time, so I would act on it.
Yep.
If you're wanting a mediumship reading, because Justin doesn't work on a timeline.
Right.
So unlike other mediums, and this is for... Time limit. But this is only for mediumship readings, okay? So, but I would act on it quickly, because at any given time, it's probably going to end on, Saturday? But payment is due on booking. So.
All right.
All right?
Thanks so much, guys. You guys have a happy and safe Halloween, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Halloween.